If you have an Aiptasia problem and you don't want to spend millions of dollars on products all the time to kill it, you want a cheap home remedy, this is the same thing that's in most Aiptasia killers. You can get on Amazon or any website and get some sodium hydroxide. Now, I would get a more expensive one because you want it to be as clean as possible. Um, I'm not even sure how clean this one is, but you want to try to find the cleanest sodium hydroxide you can find. And you put a couple flakes of that. Don't touch it, don't breathe it. It is caustic. But I put a couple flakes in a container. I mix it with a little bit of water, about 50-50. Now you can work on the strength yourself, depending on how large your anemones are and what other animals are in your tank. I go about 50-50, maybe a little bit stronger if I can. Wait till it completely mixes up. It does get hot. There's a chemical reaction here. This is acid. It gets hot. But after it fully dissolves, I suck it up in some type of controllable syringe, and I will turn all the flow off to the aquarium. I only have one tank that has them, and it's my display. I don't cut corals out of this to sell, but what you gotta do is turn off all your flow, all your wave makers, your return pump. You want it a stagnant pond, no water movement, because this kills anemones, but it also kills other corals. I dripped some on that big rainbow flower anemone, and it tore it up pretty bad for a few weeks. I dripped some on that gold samacora, little tiny one, and it pretty much killed it. But you turn off all the flow and you're super careful not to drip it on other corals. You inject that sodium hydroxide solution onto the anemone. If you can, stick the tip in the anemone's mouth and squirt it in the mouth. Mine are so tiny because this problem's pretty new and I stay on top of it. Mine are kind of hard to get, but I'll just cover them in sodium hydroxide. I'll let it sit for 5 minutes and then I'll turn the flow back on. When I turn the flow back on, I will stand here with a turkey baster and I'll baste off any hydroxide that lands on a coral, anemone, the samacora. I'll blow it off. But the good news is sodium hydroxide is extremely water soluble. So when you crank the flow back on, it all pretty much dissolves in a couple minutes and don't really have enough time to kill too many corals. So just be very careful because it can hurt your other corals, but it kills your Aiptasia almost free. Pretty sure that container was under $10, under 15, I know that, and it will last years and years. So make your own Aiptasia. All right, we got our sodium hydroxide mixed up. This syringe is hot. It is very warm to the touch. I wipe it off with a rag first, so when I dip it in the water, I don't have residual particles flying everywhere. Now I'll see if I can get this on camera. But this is going to be very hard without dropping my phone in the fish tank. This goby covers all my zoas, man. They gotta go. They get dirty because he buries them in sand. But let's find one. There's a couple over here. I just don't know if I can get the camera on it. Might help if I zoom in. Take two. This is my second time trying to get these ones. If you don't want your stuff coming out, pull back on the syringe a little bit so it ain't dripping all in your tank. But it's my second time trying to get these two Aiptasias. They're in a really tough spot. Okay, there's not really any negative side effects to using this, except for if you squirt it on a coral, your coral will die. This does kill corals, so you gotta keep it off your corals. But it will raise your pH, and your corals will like that. So you gotta watch how much you use in one shot. If you have a really bad problem and you go through and you kill every single Aiptasia in one shot, you're probably gonna spike your pH so much that it's gonna cause harm to your tank. So if your problem's really bad, just kill a couple each day. Maybe like half a dozen each day. Unless your tank's very large and you can handle a larger spike. It also helps if you use a high-powered LED flashlight to get in here and look.